Do you need experience to be a mortgage broker? Well, the answer to that one is a bit grey. Yes and no. You don't need experience to start the career, but you do need experience to actually be successful in it. And so we're going to unpack that. If you actually don't have any experience at all, you would fail very quickly. And so hopefully in this video, you're going to get all of the information you need to understand where you are and if it's the right thing for you. And if it is the right thing for you, great. And if it's not quite yet the right thing, maybe some steps you could take beforehand in order to get yourself ready. That's the goal today anyway. My name is Ash Borland. I'm a business coach who helps mortgage brokers simplify success. And over the years, I have helped hundreds of advisors improve their impact and income. And I'd like to help you set yourself onto that path and that career today. So let's unpack this idea of experience as an advisor. So the first thing you need to know is you need to be qualified. You cannot give mortgage advice or regulated mortgage advice, meaning purchases of a residential property, without an exam. So this exam is normally going to be CMAP is the main one. There's others out there, but CMAP is the main one. You have to have that in order to even try and become a mortgage advisor. There's other stuff after that, obviously, which we'll unpack in a minute, but you have to have that. So that is the first thing when it regards to experience. That would class as experience. Now, if you haven't got CMAP yet, you can either go to an employer that will do it for you. Not many do, but some of the big corporates will. Or you can go to a study online, or you can even do support groups. Now, my recommendation, if you are looking to study online, is I actually have a client of mine and someone who I've partnered with, which is Charlotte Hemingway from Future in Finance. I love that girl to pieces. She's wonderful. And if you want to help studying, in my opinion, she's the best. And I've even been able to negotiate a £50 discount off. So if you use code ASH50 at checkout, check out the link in the description, you will get £50 off for any of my viewers. So she's amazing. If you're struggling with CMAP, she'll get you through it. The next thing you have then is you then need CAS. Okay, so CAS is competent advisor status. So there is a level of experience that's needed to be a mortgage broker as well with that. Competent advisor status means you're not actually let off out on your own until you are considered what is known as competent. Other people have observed that you have a level of experience to actually give mortgage advice. Now, the reason I'm saying this is that this is about how much do you need experience to be able to just go out in the wild and give advice, is what I'm talking about here. And the answer to that is yes. And there's gatekeeping within that. So you're going to have the exams, then you're going to have CAS. Those are the main two things you need to overcome when it comes to getting that experience before you can actually go out properly and give fully regulated advice off your own back. Now, those are the two main ones. But that's not the main thing really we're going to talk about in this video. The stuff we're talking about in this video is experience previously. And the answer to that is no, nothing else. You don't need any professional qualifications outside of your CMAP or the equivalent. You don't need anything else really, per se. That being said, there are some things that will help and will absolutely help you thrive, because it's a very hard career. And there's a few that we should unpack. So experience in sales, in my opinion, is probably going to give you the best possible chance of success. Experience in sales. So if you've got a sales background, that is where you will do very, very well, by far. And the reason is this job is a sales role. And some people, I don't know why, they think it's not. So sometimes people are told it's not, it's not a sales role, it's an advisory role. No, it's a sales role. You are talking people into taking insurance products and taking mortgages and paying your fees. It's a sales role. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner you're going to be more successful, because people really struggle with this. So if you come from a sales background, experience in sales, massively going to help. Now, if you don't come from a sales background, it's okay, because there's a couple of other backgrounds you could come from that can really transfer as well. The next one being customer services. So customer service, if you're in this kind of space where you work with customer satisfaction, customer service, anything like that, retail can be good with this if it's needed to be. Anything where you are having interaction with people, the public, all the time, that's going to help you, because you will have lots of interactions with people where customer service is paramount. You're going to get referrals, you're going to get more leads off the back of the fact that you have a good client kind of manner. And so this is a very emotional job at times. You're dealing with people in very emotional situations, stressful situations, get tongue-tied there. And so because of that, it's quite hard to navigate that if you've never had that experience. I know customer service is stuff that people do really struggle with if they've never come from that background. So if you have a background in that, you can absolutely bring that forward and you use that to your advantage. Now, yes, you'll still need to learn how to do selling, but you will have that customer service background, which some people in the sales department might need to learn if they're coming in that way. Then the other one we have is a detail/compliance background. So if you're somebody who has an attention to detail in your previous experience, so that's somebody that works in a compliance setting, maybe some sort of accountancy setting, anything like that, very, very good too, because a part of mortgage roles is actually dealing with compliance, heavily regulated documentation, making sure the cases are okay. And so attention to detail is going to massively win. If you don't have a good attention to detail, you will learn how to as the job goes on, but that's going to be the stumbling block. And if you don't have good enough attention to detail, you could actually lose your license and no longer be able to practice. It's that important. But I would say the most important, ranking it from most important to least important, all of them are good, but if you have a sales background, you're probably going to be able to sell quicker and people are going to employ. If you're going to go for an employed role, that's going to matter more than anything else. Self-employed, realistically, you can have all of them or none of them and learn as you go along, in my opinion. Now, what type of job roles, specifically job roles that I think are incredibly transferable, if you are either in this or thinking about being in this, these are ones to consider. So, big one, there's only really two, is estate agency and banking. So if you come from an estate agency background, which is where I came from when I was a broker, is I was an estate agent first, then I became a mortgage broker. Massively transferable, hugely transferable, because I understood the front end and then the rest of the purchase. The mortgage bit was just in the middle, I didn't really get. So I knew what happened with selling a house, I knew what happened with buying a house, I knew what happened with progressing through solicitors and everything else, but I did not know the mortgage bit. And because of that, what then happened was, when I learned the mortgage bit, it was much easier to just slot it into place. Very, very simple. So estate agency background, very, very good. If you have that background or you're thinking, do you know what, I'm not quite, which is what I did. I always wanted to go into mortgages, but I always thought I would because my dad worked in it and my sister and lots of people I know worked in it. But I always thought I'll go into it when I'm ready, and I started as an estate agent first. And I did that for a number of years before I then became a broker, because I wanted to learn the process. Being dyslexic, as I said, I may have mentioned many times throughout my content, I'm dyslexic, and so it was like, actually, I need to make sure that I know the process first, and maybe I'm not ready to take those exams. But once I did, and once I learned it, I then very quickly moved in and was very successful at doing it. So you can do that, but estate agency background, great. The other one, like I said, was banking. I didn't come from a banking background. My sister did move into banking. I have a lot of clients who were traditionally in banking, moved over to being a broker. Banking is another one that's incredibly transferable, but in a different way. So if you think about estate agency, is you know everything from the purchase of the house, and like so the sale of the house, the purchase of the house, and then but the mortgage bit is kind of a grey area. With banking, the mortgage bit is completely not a grey area. The rest of it is. So the house, purchase, the solicitors, all of that stuff, which you still have to learn as a broker, complete grey area because you don't really deal with any of it. But the actual financial part of it, massively, massively understood, compliance, all of that stuff. You may have to learn how to be a salesman more, and you may have to learn to maybe have, well, customer service is pretty good there, but the estate agency, you're going to get that sales and that customer service. You're going to lack that detailed compliance. From a banking perspective, you're going to have that detailed compliance, you're going to have that customer service, you're going to lack that sales side. These are the two roles, in my opinion, where you see most people who have come from it usually transfer into a mortgage advisor and do very well. Now, if you're not in those roles, don't worry, you don't have to be, but if you are, you will do very, very well. So no, you don't need a lot of experience. You can go at any level. You need your qualifications, but other than that, you'll be all good. Now, if you want to know what to do once you pass your kind of CMAP and get into that career and how you actually start a career and then build a career, check out this deep dive video on screen right now where I break down exactly that.